During the first phase of their journey, Franklin Academy students stepped into the ancient and vibrant land of Longhui County in Hunan. With a thirst for knowledge and a heart full of dedication, they ventured deep into the countryside, engaging in a series of impactful projects, from understanding the traditional craft of Métis to helping local farmers overcome market barriers. Using their wisdom and creativity, they opened up new sales channels for Métis, transforming each leaf into a bridge to a broader world. Though their contributions may seem small, they flowed like gentle streams into the grand current of rural revitalization, helping to rejuvenate and prosper this land.
However, this is only the beginning of their journey. The success of the first phase is just the start, with new challenges and opportunities awaiting their exploration and action.
On this land steeped in 1,000 years of civilization, the mission and challenges of a new era intertwine. This is the cradle of Chinese culture, and a stage where young global leaders come to practice and grow. At Hunan University, Yuelu Academy, and Baishuidong Village, 40 young Chinese Americans have felt the pulse of ancient traditions, witnessed the advancements of modern technology, and experience firsthand
impoverished farmers to build a better, opportunity for them to, see a better,
the remarkable achievements, targeted poverty alleviation, and rural revitalization.
Why we decided to come to this place to work in poverty alleviation, right, to help people improve their livelihoods.
And hope you guys in this journey, you will learn culture of the China and learn from your team.
We return to Hunan, a land where wisdom and dreams are nurtured. Here, young minds embark on a new journey.
I'm the co-leader of Group 2.
And I've been at this program for 2 years, and I'll be the leader of 4 again.
Driven by the belief in transforming knowledge into action. They are not just learners,
different countries, but we're still in the same world.
but also
and then on the bus
heirs
right here,
to
I
a
was looking out the
legacy,
window.
bearing the mission of a new era.
Leadership is born from the land and takes root in practice. The terraced fields of Baishuidong Village serve as their classroom, and targeted poverty alleviation is their mission. Through hands-on involvement, they experience China's rural areas' profound transformation, becoming witnesses and drivers of this remarkable change.
The ancient academy has witnessed the growth of countless scholars over the centuries. And today, these young minds draw wisdom from its halls, with their eyes set on the future.
我们那个富兰克林奖学金有一个这个奖学金计划，专门就是给学生们，奖学金可以希望开学9月份以后给他们买一些读书用品啊、读书书籍啊之类的。然后这次我们学生把这个钱也带过来了，我请他们把钱交给您。
对，希望他
好好学习，好好学习，好不好，妹妹？好，让妈妈给你买一些辅导资料。
Their journey is not just one of personal growth.
那个很贵的，种子都8块钱一斤。
我缩下玉竹，我都去拍照缩图的，我去拍照缩下图，我们都能图一下。
月手它是都每个月才。
But of embracing the responsibilities of their time.
Leadership is the beacon that guides the times and the backbone that upholds conviction.
events in the past 14 days. And today, hopefully, is a culmination of all the hard work.
Here, they acquire knowledge and embrace the responsibility of service and dedication. The road ahead is full of challenges. Yet they have embarked on this journey with unwavering determination and hope.
OK，好，那我们差不多今天的讲座就开始吧。Hello，大家好，欢迎各位家长和学生来参加我们 IvyMax 今晚的第140期公益讲座。我是今天的主持人天阳老师。我们本期讲座的题目是高中的选课和规划，以及暑假的课外活动。最近大家可能都已经收到来自各个学校的选课申请了，那我们今天就会着重讲一下当中的弊与利。OK，首先呢，还是要祝大家新年快乐，因为刚刚才是过了新年 New Year，然后随之而来就是下礼拜的农历春节。那正值农历春节到来之际呢，祝各位大家财源滚滚，天天向上，然后也顺便给大家拜个早年。OK，那接下来呢，再一次祝贺我们的 IvyMax 学子在2026年的早申中发挥出色优异的成绩。对，这只是早申当中的一部分，那我们更加期待他们在常规申请中取得更加优异的成绩。对，大家可以看一下，今年我们的录取结果还是跟往年一样，都是很不错的。对。 OK，那我们到下面一个。OK，下面一个呢会是我们对1月份的一个回顾。那在过去的1个月呢，我们有成功举办了AMC8和 Amy 的数学竞赛。那大家可以从图中看到人山人海，很多很多人，也可以感觉得到不管是家长和学生对于竞赛的兴趣还是很大的。对。基本上是人满为患的。那之后呢，就是我们 IvyMax 的学子，在这个寒假中成功走到了中国湖南以及南美的哥斯达黎加，深入各个农户，探访当地独有的文化，顺便呢做一些扶贫的项目。对，这是我们湖南组的一个取景。那这下面呢是我们南美哥斯达黎加的一些照片。对，湖南的呢主要是针对的是微金融，呃，对，然后哥斯达黎加呢主要是针对的呢是生物多样性。对，OK，那我们就不多浪费时间了，那就开始我们今天的主题。首先给大家介绍一下今天2位的主讲嘉宾。大家可以先看一下我们的介绍。2位都是我们 IbyMax 非常资深的升学顾问。OK，那接下来的话，那就有请我们的 Mina 老师来给我们讲解一下高中选课的重要性，好吗？
好，谢谢田阳老师。首先呢，我祝愿我们 IvyMax 的每一个同学家长马年新年快乐，马到成功，阖家欢乐。OK，又到了1年1度的放榜季节，所以我们IvyMax 也是捷报频传。每当看到学生们收到录取通知的时候，我们是由衷的为我们的学生们、家长们感到高兴，因为高中4年一路走来真的是很不容易，我们看到了学生的成长、付出、耕耘，他们的努力得到了回报。OK，所以呢，我知道我们的家长呢都是希望自己的孩子能够望子成龙、望女成凤。那么，如何让他们最后的高中4年能够顺利的升入他们的 Dream School， 有一个提早的大学申请计划，就是非常重要的。那么接下来的环节呢，将由我来主讲关于怎么在高中选课、选对课的问题。OK，show me the slide。OK，我想呢，大家呢对 UC System 已经都非常熟悉了。那么我为什么用 UC System 来做举例呢？因为大部分的学校跟 UC System 的选课是非常相似的。OK， 所以我们先来看一下UC 呢是有 A to G 的 requirements。OK， 那么 A 呢就是 stands for History Social Science。OK，UC 是需要2年的课程，那么我们是 recommend 3年。OK， 那么history class 就像AP World History， US History， Social Science is like psychology class， US Government， 或者是Econ Macro class，right， 宏观微观。然后呢 B 呢是4年的英语，然后 C 呢是4年的数学，然后 D 呢是recommend 是3年的 science， 但是我们是希望学生们还是可以 take 4年的 science class， 因为 science class 还是非常重要的。然后 E 呢是language other than English， 我想在这里强调的是这个 language 呢必须得是同一种 language。OK， 尤其需要至少要 take 2年的同一种 language。OK，我知道我们的学生很多华裔的孩子都讲的一口流利的中文，然后他们都会 take AP Chinese。但是如果你们想在申请大学的时候stand out，我是希望他们能够 take other than Chinese maybe like AP French or AP Spanish that would be better, right? OK， 那么 F 呢是 Virtual and Performing arts class，OK，那么这样的 class 就可以说像 marching band 或者是 music theater 或者是debate 这样的 class 都 qualify。然后最后一个呢 letter G 呢是 college preparatory elective class， 像 AP class 或者是 honor class 都 qualify。家长们呢不用担心，因为每一个 high school 都会有他自己的 brochure， 他的 brochure 上每一个 class 他都会 list 得非常清楚的，这个 class 是不是 fulfill 那个 UC 的 A to G 的 requirements。OK， 所以家长不用担心。那么对于Math class 呢，我想特殊强调的是，就是 UC 呢是 require 呢学生也一定要 take Algebra 1和 Geometry 这2门课程。OK，所以呢，我想学校的 counselor 呢也会定时的去 check 这个学生这个就是他们的那个4年的那个高中的课程，然后就是在他们 send 他们的那个 high school transcript 的时候，如果有问题的话，那么 UC 会 flag， 他会告诉你，他就会告诉你哦，你的哪一个那个，比如说那个 letter C 还没有 fulfill， 你还差那个1年的那个 math class requirement， 所以家长不用特别的担心。如果家长还有担心的话，当然可以咨询我们的升学顾问。OK， 谢谢天阳。Next slide。OK， 我想呢，高年级的同学呢，可能已经对 AP 或者 Honor Class 已经非常熟悉了。那么对于低年级的同学、9年级、10年级的同学，我还是想要讲一下，什么是 AP Class 或者 Honor Class。那么 AP Class 呢 stands for Advanced Placement Class， 它是 College level 的 class，Honors Class 还是 High School 的 level 的 class。但是呢，因为它的难度呢会比 regular 的那个 High School Class 会难，所以呢。它的那个评分的标准呢，也会最高分是5分，是1到5分。所以呢，如果你拿了一个 A 的话，那它的分数呢就会 GPA calculate 的时候就会按5分算。因为这个原因呢，所以呢，如果你 take 很多的 AP class， 那会 definitely boost your GPA。OK，那么不仅呢 AP class 会 boost 你的 GPA。那么因为大学申请官呢，他看重的是就是说，这个学生呢，他能跳出他的舒适圈 OK， 他 would rather take 一个hard AP US history class get a B than take a easy regular US history class get a A。OK， 因为呢，大学申请官他想知道这个学生呢，他就是喜欢 challenge 他的那个 challenge themselves， 然后呢，而且呢，能够还参加学校的各种各样的 sports 或者 volunteer 的这些活动的同时，还能 maintain 一个 high GPA。Okay, it's not that easy to do, so it's a pretty good accomplishment. Okay， 所以 take AP class is 非常重要的呀。谢谢。Okay。那么呢，我刚刚讲到了 take AP class 呢非常重要，可是呢，我们也经常听到家长和学生有的时候有一些抱怨，我是想 take 这个 AP class， 可是我们学校不 offer， 或者说我们学校说9年级不能take， 你要等到11年级才可以 take， 或者说那个 senior has higher priority than us， 或者说我们老师根本不教，就让我们看那个 video， 因为或者老师 grade 非常 hard。因为我自己呢，也是那个有 teach 那个 AP Calculus、AP 和 BC， 所以我也有很多的同学，我也听到同学有这样的反馈。OK， 那么呢，综上所述各种原因呢，我希望家长们不用担心。下一个 slide。OK， 因为为什么呢？因为我们和 Franklin Academy 有合作。Franklin Academy 目前呢可以 offer 30 plus 那个 AP classes。OK， 所以呢 Franklin Academy 呢不仅呢你可以 take 这个 class school year， 你也可以 take 这个 class during the summertime 6月份到8月份 accelerated AP courses。OK， 而且呢 Franklin Academy 还是College Board UC 还有 WASC approved certified 那个all the AP courses are certified， 所以家长们不用担心。OK， next slide， yeah， thank you。OK， 所以呢，如果你想要 getting ahead，OK， 你可以呢按照你自己的时间来，你就可以呢选择在学校外面，比如说像我刚才提到的 Franklin Academy，去 take 一些 AP courses。OK， 那么我们有的学生呢，甚至于在8年级的 summer 就开始 take 1到2门的 AP class， 这样呢，等到他们10年级的时候，他们已经有的都已经 take summer AP classes。OK， 那么我刚才说了，就是说为什么 take AP class 这么重要呢？就是说它不仅仅是 boost your GPA， 而且呢，哈佛呢，大学呢最近做了一个统计，就是说什么样的孩子上了大学以后他如鱼得水 ，OK，他不 struggle，不是 high SAT 的 student， 也不是 high regular GPA 的 student， 而是那些 take 了很多门 AP class 的 students。 It makes sense, right？ 因为他们在高中已经 take 这些 rigorous 那个 courses， 所以他们已经 well adjusted to the high level courses， 所以他们上了大学以后他们就不会 struggle。OK， 另外呢，还有因为就是美国的各个高中所 offer 的那个 AP 的那个数量也不一样，然后就是允许学生们在几年级 take AP class 也不一样，还有的 class 呢，比如说有一个 high school 我知道，就是你要想 take 那个 honor chemistry 呢，你必须得要至少要get a B or better in bio class， 或者是要 concurrently take algebra 2 class， 所以这些种种的限制呢，都会给我们的学生就是耽误我们学生啊，或者是you know，但是你们不用担心，可以在刚才我提到过的 Frank Academy 去 take 这些 class。OK，whether 你是想getting ahead， 或者是你有一点behind， 你想 catch up， 你都可以去 Franklin Academy 去学这些 AP 课程。OK， 谢谢。下一张 slide。OK， 那么呢，接下来呢，我们就因为AP 课很多门，一个大概有38门左右，那么我们就大概看一下，就是说我们每个年级都可以 take 一些什么样的 AP 课。OK， 那么8年级、9年级的 summer 呢，可以 take bio honor、AP human geography、AP computer science principle、AP macro、AP micro，right？ 然后10年级到11年级呢，可以 take AP environmental science、AP psychology，and so on, right? Okay, next slide. OK， 那么呢，我们知道呢，就是说到了11年级呢 ，AP class 就是 heavy load， 因为就是难的 AP class，大部分都是在11年级和12年级 take， 比如说AP Land、AP US History、AP Physics、AP Bio、AP Biology，right？AP BC 这些 class 都会在11年级、12年级左右的时候会 take， 然后9年级、10年级的时候可以相对 take 一些比较容易的一些 AP class，right？ 比如说 AP Human Geography、AP World History。AP Computer Science Principle，OK， 那么我在这里我想讲一下，不是每门 AP 课都是一样的，虽然它的那个 scale 都是1到5分，但是有一些 AP 课是相对来说是比较难的，比如说 AP BC、AP Physics，Physics C 说是最难的 ，Physics C 那个 Electricity 和 Mechanism 就是电磁学是最难的，然后呢还有AP 我想讲一下，就是 AP Computer Science Principle 和 AP Computer Science A 的区分。那么AP Computer Science Principle 主要是讲一些基本的computer 的原理。那么 Computer Science A 呢是 Java， 是 teach you Java language。OK，next。OK， 那我在这里呢，我想特别的强调一下这2门 AP。一门是叫 AP Seminar， 一门是叫 AP Research，both are a year-long class。OK， 那么 AP Research 呢 ，you take after AP Seminar。如果你 take 这2门课，通常呢，我们建议学生在10年级和11年级 take 这2门课。然后呢，如果在同时你也 take 了4门以上的 AP 课，而且都通过的话，都 pass by 3的话，那么学生们就可以得到一个 AP Capstone 的 diploma。这是一个分量很大的一个 diploma。为什么呢？因为呢 ，higher education professionals 他们意识到，如果 high school students began mastering these skills like critical thinking skills, collaboration skills, time management skills, presentation skills, will benefit them tremendously. 也就说明当他们上了大学以后，他们 ready for real big project, big research work. OK， 那么 AP Seminar 呢，这门课呢， 它是分3部分，所以第一部分呢是 team presentation， 然后第2部分就是 individual presentation， 然后最后一部分是考试。AP research 呢都是就是完全的是 individual 的 research， 然后大概要写4000到5000字左右的一个paper。OK， 那么这2门课的 difference 呢是什么呢？那么 AP Seminar 呢，实际上是给 AP Research 做好准备，也就是说 AP Seminar 呢，它是就是研究现有的一些那个 information， 然后你可以写出自己的一些观点。那么 AP Research 呢，就是based on 现有的一些 information， 你有 build 这个 gap， 然后你要 give your own insight from the new knowledge，new information。OK， 好，谢谢。OK， 那么刚才我已经说到了，就是说大家都知道take AP class 的 importance， 那么是不是就是说 take 越多越好呢？那有的学生 take 10几门，不是这样子的，就是说我们要根据每个孩子自己的那个情况 ，OK， 就是说因为这个 AP class 呢，确实是it's a lot of workload， 所以呢不是很容易的。那么我们的学生必须要非常的 self-discipline， 然后会有 strong time management， 然后会有很大的自主性的情况下，然后来决定是否 take 这些AP classes，OK， 因为呢，我也有很多的学生，就是说，如果当他们 struggle 的时候，他们就会很容易的 frustrated， 然后有的时候可能会 drop 掉，或者是 switch，you know，OK， 所以。然后另外一点呢，就是为什么说不是说 take 越多越好呢？因为呢，你 take 比如说你 take 8门你都得了3分，那还不如你 take 4门都得5分 ，OK？ 因为就是你的高质量的 AP 课比 you know 就是你都 take 泛的那些 AP 课更重要。OK， 那么还有另外一点我要强调的就是说 AP 课和 AP exam 是2回事，也就是说你可以在学校上这门 AP 课。但是你可以选择不要考试，或者说你不 take 这个 AP 课，你可以自学，然后再去考试也是可以的。但是如果你就是说，记住，如果你是在学校 take 的话，那么学校的counselor 会给你一个 code， 然后学生会到学校的一个网站上去 register before 那个 deadline date，OK？ 那么如果你是在学校外面 take 的AP class， 也可能学校不允许你在学校的那个 test center 去 take a test， 也没有关系，你可以联系外面的 test center， 去 assign 这个 test， 你也是可以 take 这 AP exam 的。IvyMax 也会 offer 有些 AP exam 的 OK next OK， 那么接下来我们看一下，就是过去这4年，从2021年到2024年的就是history 和 social science 的 AP 的 score 4分以上的一个 chart，那么我们可以清楚的看到 blue 是2024年 blue 那个 bar 是 way higher than the other years， 这说明了什么？这说明了越来越多的学生已经 take AP exams， 而且越来越多的学生开始 score higher scores。OK， 大家都注意到了这个 take AP class 的重要性。Next slide。OK， 同样的 AP、AB 和 BC，这个 chart 也是 shows the same result。那对，我想讲一下，就是说AB 和 BC 的区别是什么 ？Well, AB 呢就是 first part of the book for BC。OK，AB 呢讲的是比较慢的，那 BC 呢是 accelerated， 是 fast paced 的，然后 BC 会讲这个整本书。OK， 所以呢，有些学生呢，他到了11年级，他会you know 就是 make a decision whether 是 take AB 呢还是 BC 呢？就是要跟你的 counselor 要咨询好呀，OK， 所以这个是跟刚才的 chart 差不多的呀。OK， 那么还有一个比较 commonly asked question 就是说，因为呢SAT 呢，最近呢越来越多的学校，尤其是藤校又开始恢复了 SAT 的那个 test，right？ 然后呢很多家长就问，那我的孩子到底 SAT 要 score 多少分 is good enough？如果你们是想申请藤校的话，那至少要达到1500分。如果是申请那个 那个像 Harvard、MIT 或者耶鲁这样的藤校的话，那可能要达到1550分以上才可以。OK，那么就是说，那 SAT 和那个 AP，最好是两个都考。为什么呢？因为他们两个是相辅相成的关系。也就是说，如果你的 AP score 不是那么 strong 的话，那么你考了一个很高的 SAT score。会 help you，会 benefit you。那 vice versa，如果你 SAT score 考的不高，可是你的那个 AP score 很高的话，也会同样也会 benefit each other，right？OK，那么还有的家长就问，到底是 take SAT 呢，还是 ACT 呢？首先这两个考试呢，就是大学都是认可的。那么它的 difference 是什么呢？SAT 呢，从去年呢就是完全是 digital version，没有 paper test。ACT 呢，目前还是 paper test。然后 both tests 的那 calculator 是 allowed，另外呢，在时间上呢都差不多2个小时10几分钟左右，但是 SAT 的每一个 question 呢可能会有稍微多一点的时间去 answer， 然后 SAT 的那个 question 呢比较偏向于是就是 problem solving 的那种 ，ACT 呢是 direct question， 比较直接的那种 question， 然后那另外一个不同的就是 ACT 呢。so far 呢，就是它还是有那个 science， 还有那个 IC 的 optional 的这个 choice，SAT 是完全没有那个 IC 的 choice 了。所以如果你们还是不能 decide 的话，那我建议你们可以来到我们 center 去 take 几个mock exam， 然后 based on 那个 mock exam， 你们可以决定到底是 take SAT 还是 ACT， 好吗 ？Good， 下一个 ，OK。那么 again， 这个 slide shows 就是说，越来越多的顶级的藤校已经开始恢复了 SAT 的 test，OK？所以呢，我不知道你们最近有没有听到一个 news， 就是说 UC San Diego 最近出来说，他们发现就是他们有很多的 freshmen 的 students 呢，他们的那个 math skill 是很 poor 的，就是他们不能那个 manage 那个 high level 的那个有一些那个college course， 因为他们的 poor math skill， 所以呢，I won't be surprised。我觉得即使目前为止 UC is still test blind for SAT， 但是我觉得在不久的将来 UC 也会很快恢复 SAT。在这里呢，我还想强调的一项，就是说为什么我们要 take SAT 和那个 AP 呢？就是说，另外一点，因为他们都是 standardized test 呢。standardized test 就是说，因为它是 College Board assigned test， 那么就是一视同仁，对吧？这个分数是比较公平的。因为呢，每个 high school 的老师的他的评分标准不一样。OK， 有些老师是easy grader， 有些老师是 hard grader， 对吧？所以呢，通过这个 SAT 和 AP 的 test 呢，就会比较公平的体现孩子的真正的那学术的能力。OK，对 ，next slide。OK，
OK， 那好，那谢谢米娜老师，刚刚精彩的分享，
好，谢
我相信，
谢大家。
对，我相信大家也都学到了很多。那接下来的话，我们就把目光就 focus 在下校活动以及关于领导力的培养。那接下来的话，有请我们的Dr. Angela Garden 老师来给我们做下面的解读。
Okay, yeah. So we're going to switch gears beyond academics. What's also, just as important, if not, more important to show character and passion for our students are extracurriculars. One thing to think about when you're choosing which extracurriculars your child should enroll in or enlist in is due to, one, how deep are they going to go into that extracurricular? And then also, we want to show quality more than quantity in terms of, going into that depth and impact. So impact is super important along with, consistency. So it's not about doing a bunch of things over the course of high school. Here I volunteered once here, I volunteered once there. We need to show consistency and to hopefully by our, the end of our sophomore year, that we're really showing where our passions lie. So that means that not only do we want our students to be well-rounded, so even if you're a STEM student, if you do something with mental health, that's fine. I have a lot of students that do that, but still, they're going to have to, what I'm calling as a spike here, that you're going to have to show that specificity by junior year, showing that you want to go into a given field or you're passionate about this. So that's something to, so remember, quality over quantity. Okay, next. Okay, so what are the most important, or, and later on we'll talk about some case studies, but it's definitely, depending on if you're in humanities and or STEM, it doesn't matter. Research is definitely one of the main areas that I would say in the past 3 to 5 years has been, consistent with our top students getting into top schools. So that can be, and we're going to talk about summer programs, and then of course, Franklin Academy, Franklin Foundation offers that as well. So we want to talk about, doing research and delving into an academic area that the student hopes to go into. And it does, I know a lot of parents are concerned, like, well, isn't that more for STEM and not humanities? That's not true. For economics, for instance, there's a lot of good research that can be had by students delving into that area and can be beneficial knowledge to the public and to our readers, hopefully, so of our journal. And then social impact, right? So we want to make sure. So I always describe, impact as, yes, we want to see outside of ourselves and make an impact in our communities, right? But hopefully it's a two-way street also, that through making that exterior social impact in the community is also going to be reflected on our personal impact, right? So, and you want to demonstrate leadership. As long as I've been doing this, which is many, many years, leadership is always going to be an attribute that we want our students to demonstrate. And this often can be done, from clubs, organizations, and or, starting, having the initiative to do your own thing, or, just your passion projects that we encourage our students to do. So, okay, next. So I'm going to go more in depth into the options for summer programs. So, why do we do them? And then, just the logistical things that you have to consider. And then the different types of summer programs that are out there that are popular amongst students, some that are more competitive than others. And then I'll talk a little bit more in depth with one of the programs that we offer that I think has been highly beneficial over the past decade with our students. So go ahead. Okay, so why are we going to engage in summer programs? First, of course, is academic enrichment, right? So it's depending on where you're at, in high school. So it's either going to give you an opportunity to explore areas that you're interested in. So let's say you don't know exactly what you want to major in. So for my younger students, I think it's a great opportunity for them to try to start honing in on how they're going to move forward in later high school years. And then, it's also going to go beyond, what the high schools offer. So a lot of the classes that are offered, and later on we'll talk about first tier and second tier programs, but regardless, a lot of these classes, even if they're not for credit, it's important that students have the option to delve in a little bit deeper into a given area. Again, as we've all been saying, probably every time you hear a webinar, critical thinking, right, is super important. So problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration and teamwork these programs are going to be able to help build in our students. And then, of course, depending on the program, technical skills. And then I like for my students, I mean, right now we're in the middle of the application for summer programs. So, they're going to be experiencing what it tastes like to actually apply to college. So, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but they have to, write essays, get recommendations, go through the whole process. So it's kind of like a preliminary experience, which is, I think, helpful before the students actually get to that point of college applications. I already kind of mentioned this, like career exploration. If students are still unclear, then it allows them to explore different avenues in those younger years. And then they also get, kind of a hands-on or a one-on-one experience with professors at these different universities, which is beneficial in terms of it can be beneficial in terms of applying to college if you make connections. And then of course personal growth, right? So a lot of students maybe haven't had the experience of going outside of the home or going outside of, their comfort zone. And so it gives them that real life experience that, most students desire and or they need before going off to college. Also, it's a matter of social skills because they're going to be interacting with others from most of the programs that I'm going to be talking about tonight are international. Some of them are more geared toward California residents, but not all. And so they're going to be interacting with students that they would never have the opportunity to do. So that also can build their skill set and experiences. And then, a big one is time management. So, because they're going to be doing probably multiple activities over the summer. So, therefore, they might be, previewing a class, they might be, getting ready for SAT. There's a lot of activities, especially if you're a rising junior. This is going to be important in terms of time management, how you can get all of this in before you move into the most crucial year, which is 11th grade. Okay. Okay. So, as I already said, your future goals, and obviously there's a lot that you can learn from these programs. So, more specifically in terms of college applications. So these summer programs that we'll be talking about is that they give the student an experience because inevitably they're going to have to speak to this in their essays for college applications. So, for the UCs, and the UCs, mind you, I don't think they've changed their prompts in years. So I can guarantee, next year there's going to be UC number 4, which asks the student to talk about an educational opportunity that they took advantage of. And, and what they learned from that, how they grew from that, and then how that's going to, hopefully meet their future goals. So that if the student goes to, one of these summer programs, it's going to be much easier for them to write this sort of essay, and it makes for the best essays. Also, why major? UC number 6 hasn't changed in years. And so this is asking you pretty much what is an academic subject that, you're most fond of. Usually that aligns with your why major. And within that essay, what we require is students to say how they build up or develop that interest over time. And oftentimes it does not just require the student talking about their high school classes that they've taken, which could be AP courses, but also outside of the classroom during the summertime. And then of course, for the more like the private schools. So Stanford, again, I don't think has changed this in years as well, as long as I've been with IvyMax. So basically, what have you done, significant over the past 2 summers? So we don't want students to be writing about, oh, I studied for SAT, right? I mean, that might be true, but we don't want to highlight that. We want them to talk about some meaningful internship or some, research that they did over the past 2 summers, or going on, for instance, for me, I oversee the Costa Rica trip for our GPLs. That is super meaningful to that student. So we want them to engage in unique opportunities and unique experiences. And doing these summer programs will allow them to write also not only answer something like, what have you done in the past 2 summers, but also to write essays that are different from their peers. So yeah. Okay. So, there's all different types, for every field of interest. There is a summer program out there. So anywhere from STEM to social sciences. So, a lot of our students are STEM oriented, but, again, a lot of my students are actually humanities as well. So, that's something that you should speak with your counselor to help figure out which ones are best. And I'm going to give just it's not comprehensive, but an overview tonight. Okay. Okay. So one thing that is important. So a lot of the top tier programs, which I'll demonstrate in a few slides from now, is that there is an age limit. So that's why a lot of the more competitive programs are going to be for our rising juniors and rising seniors. So, so that's something to keep, be aware of. In terms of like, if we were looking at subject-based, Math camps can be a little bit more, lenient with that for whatever reason. I'm going to offer some suggestions for math in a bit, but basically, uh, you're going to have a broader, more kind of opportunities for the younger students, rising ninth, rising 10th graders, right? And then you want, as a rising 11th grader, start to really try to, and definitely as a rising senior, you want that summer program to align, definitely for a rising senior, you want it to align with hopefully that what you figured out that you want to major in. Because that is where we get that specificity, and that student is going to learn the skills, for that given field or discipline. Okay. So, what I suggest to my students is that, we will go through together. Well, first, oftentimes the counselor is going to offer, a list of programs to think about. And then the student and the parents go in and do research. So I like to create an Excel spreadsheet for my students, and then they go along with their parents to look at that. So you want about 10 options typically. And then you're gonna hone down those options. And depending on the rigor and the rigor of the program is going to be contingent on how long the program is. For our, first tier programs, it's going to be, they're usually 4 to 8 weeks. For the second tier programs, which are going to be called the pre-collegiate programs, so those are usually around 2 weeks. So, and that also allows the student to do multiple activities in that given summer. So it's not taking up the whole summer. But again, remember that, going into 11th grade, that's where you want to show that you're starting to show that specificity, but you're also, getting, that's where the time management, as I mentioned, comes in, because you're preparing also probably SATs. I typically, suggest that students take SAT in junior year fall. So, but every student can be different for sure. So, and then of course, as in life, you need a contingency plan, right? So let's say that, we are applying to some of these more rigorous and competitive programs. You need to have a backup plan in case you don't get in. So you don't want to be left holding like, okay, what is my child to do because we didn't get in. So, and that's something, again, that you and your counselor should definitely consider and plan for. Okay. Okay. This is also important to note, because even if it's a second tier program, say something like Summer at Brown, which a lot of my students have done over the years. It's a great program, and I've never gotten any but good results and feedback from students that have attended it. But even something like that does require essays and letters of recommendations. So, and there may or may not be GPA requirements. So, even not as rigorous summer programs can also require all of this. Some of them do interviews, not as many. And then actually some do require writing samples. So I've just been working, with students regarding the summer applications, and some of the top tier ones do request writing samples. So this is just something to be aware of when you're moving into these summer programs. Okay, one of the, as I mentioned earlier, so Cosmos is, so I'm just going to go through, highlight some of the summer programs, and then go over a more general list for each kind of category based on the discipline. But Cosmos is super popular with our students here in California. It is STEM-based. So for the humanities, it's not, for those students. But nevertheless, it is a 4-week-long program in resident at the different campuses, usually Davis, Irvine, Santa Cruz, and UCLA offer them. Sometimes Merced offers it. There are 3 essays that you have to write. And you have to get teacher recommendations. The important thing to note about this is that that there is not, like, when you apply to college, there's not like one, like, admittance committee that's overlooking to see if you get into the program. With Cosmos, each individual campus, along with the professors that are teaching this particular, like what they call clusters. The professors are the ones that give the ultimate say if a student gets in or not. So therefore, Cosmos the acceptance can be very, very, kind of up and down. There's not a consistency. And that's what makes it also more challenging. Depends on the professors that are teaching the individual clusters. I think a lot of parents and students don't recognize this. So that's what makes this like harder to distinguish. This is a good choice. I think you have, this percentage, or, you're likely to get in. I've had students kind of all over. GPA, extracurriculars, just depends. Okay, so that's for California residents. MIT RSI. This one is an excellent program. A lot of our students over the years, or at least my students, have submitted applications to this. It is cost-free. So what does that mean? It's going to be super competitive, right? So, so it's going to incorporate not only instruction, but it's also going to provide elongated period, like 5 weeks of research. So you get a short term of instruction, and then more focused on research. And then at the end, you're going to have to produce a research paper. So, and then also defend it orally in front of your peers or the students' peers. So, highly recommended, but very competitive. Again, for our biomedical students, SIMR is very popular. It's right here in the Bay Area, and it's an excellent program. It's for 8 weeks, and it goes anywhere from, immunology to cardiovascular biology. So it's pretty much, all different levels or all different fields of medicine. So it also has a special track for bioengineering. So this is kind of unique. And where, students are going to have that hands-on experience, like with other summer programs, but it's designed to really address real-world issues in the medical field and hopefully promote students thinking about outside of the box. This particular program is going to require, or they're going to ask to offer SAT, ACT, and or PSAT, depending on, because not all students, even if you're like I just said, if you're rising 11th grade, a lot of you have not taken the either test, SAT or ACT. So a lot of times they take PSAT. So again, very competitive program here in the Bay Area. Okay, and then here we have Davis. This one now is geared more toward environmental science, agriculture, still biology based, but on a more macro level compared to the previous one. Okay, so this is great for students such as myself. My biology background is more macro, evolutionary biology, ecology, that kind of thing, environmental science. So for those students that are more geared toward that, this is an excellent program. Again, it is competitive. As you can see, if you can read the PBT here, they take about 40 participants. So again, very selective. And again, you're going to have to get those letters of rec, write essays, and then provide your high school transcript and probably PSAT score. Because again, these are going to be more for the older students. Okay. And then this one is unique, SSP. So it's kind of like an umbrella. It is going to cover, different locations. So for North Carolina, Chapel Hill offers 2 biochemistry research opportunities. We also are looking at Purdue and Indiana, which is going to be more probably CS oriented. And then for astrophysics. So I have had students over the years that are interested in this field. And so they do have, some opportunities at New Mexico State University and University of Colorado Boulder. Okay. And then, so this has like a more broader scope in terms of STEM that's unique compared to some of the other programs that I've spoken about thus far. So again, it's, for our juniors and seniors. But it does go down to the age of 15 for this one. So it's 15 to 18. So, okay, so this is what I was talking about, top tier versus second tier. So basically, the top tier is what we've been talking about. Some of these that I have on the slide, Stanford Summer Humanities Institute, excellent humanities program. I've actually referred a lot of my humanities students to this for this summer. And then of course Wharton, but the main point is that these top tiers, and I've had a lot of students do Bank of America, their leadership program. Again, very competitive. So the one thing that you need to, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So very competitive. So you need, to write really good essays. And then hopefully, you have the GPA to kind of back that up to make you competitive. For the second tier ones, so a lot of the top tier ones are going to have hard deadlines. So that means, they're going to wait until, let's say, for instance, Cosmos deadline is today. So I've been very busy, but with questions about applications. But anyway, so that's a hard deadline. So that means that the different locations of Cosmos are not going to start looking at applications until that deadline is met. A lot of the second tier pre-college programs, those are on a rolling basis. I can definitely say Summer at Brown is a rolling basis. So that means as they get the applications and as students apply to a given class that they're interested in, they start filling it up. So even if you think that you have all this time, you don't, because if you wait too long, you're going to get put on the wait list. So even though they're easier to get into, you still need to get the application in sooner than later because of it being rolling, because they're not going to wait until a given date to start accepting students. Okay. Okay. So again, we'll kind of just run through this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about each individual program, but these are some, very popular math camps. Again, some of them are more competitive, like SUMAC. It's going to be maybe a little bit more competitive. I also have a lot of students doing Promise, this year. So you just need to look at, again, you want to offer to, when you're making your list, think about, you're not going to get into all of them because some are going to be easier, some are going to be harder. So, and then ultimately make your definitive decision to see what the results are in terms of planning out the summer. Okay. Some engineering, of course, UPenn engineering, right? And then MIT, and then YSPA is a very popular program with my students in the past. But this is only rising seniors. So it's also, even more competitive. And then UPenn. So, computer science. I want to point out that most top universities are going to have, programs. I think the one thing you have to be careful of. So if you really want to have professors teach or be oversee these programs from that specific campus or that specific university, okay, you have to be careful because a lot of programs can rent out. So you need to just be aware that they're, and there's nothing wrong with that because there's a lot of good programs that actually rent out campuses at universities, but you just need to know what you're applying to. So anyway, so a lot of the pre-collegiate though are true to the individuals that are hired by that campus. So, and then business and humanities, we've talked a little bit about this. YYGS is a very popular one. So this is a Yale Young Scholars Program. And I've already mentioned the Stanford Humanities one. And then, of course, as I said, a lot of these, and this is something, again, Haas obviously at Berkeley has a great program for business. LaunchX is another very popular one. Again, plan this out with your counselor. They can give you a lot of good advice based on their professional experience. Okay, and then of course we can't leave out our art students, right? So Interlochen is, a great one that I've had my art students over the years apply to. I've gotten very good feedback on that. And then CSSA, it's a mouthful. But the point is that, for every discipline, there's a good program out there. So, okay. Research, going back to what I was previously saying is that research is super important, right? So a lot of these different programs will incorporate research, and then some of them are just focused on. RISE is an excellent Boston University, okay? Again, only for rising seniors and very competitive, okay? I've also, had students go to Stony Brook. Again, so which brings up a really good point is that a lot of these programs might be held at universities that are not top 20, but the summer programs are actually excellent. Like, if they were ranked for, undergraduate experience or, academics, they would be like in that top 10 or top 20. So you can't necessarily always look at the ranking of the university of where it's being held. You really need to look at the program itself. Okay. And then our program, which is research-based, like I said, I believe our Franklin Research Internship Program has been going on for a decade now. A lot of our top students have participated. It's an excellent opportunity. And, in tandem with other summer programs, students can enlist in our FRIP program. We offer very, individualized one-on-one mentorship with excellent professors across the U.S. at different universities that have agreed to work with us. It also can be used in tandem with what Mina was talking about earlier, the capstone program, right? So I often like for my students to do capstone, but combine AP research with Franklin internship program. They are a very good complement to each other. So, and it can be, a continuation, whether you start it with research first, you can continue with FRIP or vice versa. You can start with Franklin and then move into research as a continuation. So you go more in depth into a subject of your where your passion is. So, okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a couple of case studies from our students from this year, actually. So the first one, she did ED to Brown. So we're going to look at her stats here and just kind of, we're also going to compare the two students and talk about, what's important. I've also had the pleasure of interacting with these students and getting their own personal feedback. So, of course, there's a high GPA. Now, I know Mina earlier talked about unweighted versus weighted. So, she doesn't, this particular student doesn't have a perfect GPA, right? And you don't always necessarily have to get into a top ranking university. Obviously, GPA does matter, but it's not the only thing, right? And I think what Mina said earlier is that oftentimes, universities are going to look at, and if we look at some of her extracurriculars, right, that, she did 4 years of Model UN. So think about what I was also saying before, consistency and going in depth. So this particular student demonstrates that. And Model UN is a great activity if it's appropriate for a particular student. And then you're seeing she's spent a significant amount of time, 3 years, being an editor-in-chief, right, for her school newspaper. Again, that's showing in depth. Now, I believe this student is more humanities-based compared to my next case study, but nevertheless. And of course, you can look at the other, just logistics, the SAT, ACT. I think Mina had also mentioned that it doesn't matter which one you take. Some students do end up getting a perfect score on ACT versus SAT for whatever reason. They are very different. Well, they are a different test. I'm just going to leave it at that. But, and then her AP schedule is not, it's not like she had like 15 APs, right? But she did well. Obviously, she got good grades, which is the most important thing in our AP courses. And then she actually tested well on them. And then, not only is she, engaged in more intellectual, academic, extracurriculars, right? But, she's also engaged in, community, right? So that combination, together is going to make a student stand out along with their essays. Okay, let's go on to the next case study. So the next one is ED to Northwestern. Again, one of our top universities, and acceptance rate is very low. This individual happened to actually have a perfect unweighted GPA, right? And then you're going to see similar high scores on the SAT, ACT. And then, he is more STEM oriented than the previous student. So you're going to see a lot more competitions. And that is important if you're going to be, going into engineering, CS, applied math. You need to have those competitions to make yourself competitive, to make the student competitive amongst their peers. But yet, again, you're seeing, community-based involvement and civic involvement. I think one of the important things that he said was when I spoke or I heard him is that, he took an area that he's passionate about, which is mathematics, and he's good at, but he applied that into the civic engagement and made meaning of that. So that was I think, an excellent advice that he gave, for future students is that you can take something that you're good at, but also make it count in other areas. So it's not all mathematics, right? It looks like, and it is, dealing with more community-based civic engagement, making that positive impact beyond himself. So, yeah. So these are two excellent, case studies. Thank you so much for your time. And I think, Ten Young, this goes back to you.
OK，yeah，thank you，Angela。OK，那感谢两位老师的精彩分享啊，我想大家应该都听得挺过瘾的吧？那接下来的话就会是我们 IvyMax 的一些活动的精选。对，那首当其冲的话，那就是我们的Rocky Tree 这是我们IvyMax 独有的一个社团活动。这个不光光只是在北加州啦，南加州的话也会有分布。我们基本上呢是会在每一个中心都会有这个社团，且这个社团呢会有1到2个组。每一年大概春季，也就是差不多这个时候，他们的火箭就是会基本上设计好了，已经试飞好了，可以去参加比赛了。我记得最好的一次是我们应该是有进了全国的前80。对，而且这个火箭队这个项目呢，我们 IvyMax 呢已经帮助学生从建立到开发已经有差不多10多年的历史了，这也是我们的一个老传统的一个项目。对。OK，那这个呢就会是我们的湖南微金融扶贫项目。那这个项目呢，就像我刚刚在开头所给大家展示的图片那样，基本上呢就会是我们学生呢去到中国湖南的一些贫困山区或者是一些少数民族的部落，去针对他们那些农户去做针对的利用他们所学的金融知识去做针对定点的去扶贫。那同时呢，我们也会发放一些援助的捐款给到那些农户，让他们能够自给自足、自力更生。对，同时呢，参加这些义工活动的小朋友呢，也会相应的得到我们的义工小时数。对，然后呢，大家可以在这儿截个图，可以把这整张图都截下来，里面呢有我们的一些具体的时间。OK，那接下来第二个呢，就会是我们的哥斯达黎加的生物多样性。那这有跟上面的湖南的不同。湖南呢是如果你是想要念经济金融或者数学那一些，可能你会是比较适合。那当然这个项目的话就会更加靠近生物、化学和环境科学。因为我们知道在哥斯达黎加的话，它是属于热带地区，然后它那边的话是野生物种是非常非常多的，尤其是在海边，因为它又是沿的是加勒比海，所以说它那边的海洋野生动物会特别多。然后我们主要呢是会有一个课题，是会让学生去做关于大海龟的科研。对。OK，这两个呢，左边的呢是我们尼泊尔的人文科考项目，这个呢主要是针对一些 学生想要做历史研究啊、宗教研究啊，或者是政治一些，他们的话，那这个的话会是对他们来说的话，会是是一个绝佳的、很好的一个夏校。同时的话，也可以去看一看呃他们的眼界，因为我们知道尼泊尔的话是一个以佛教为基底的一个国家。啊、他们学生到了当地的话，是可以充分的体会到当地的民风民俗的。对，OK，那右边这个呢是针对，比如说有一些学生他不太方便出国做这些义工，那我们也有推出了针对美国本地的生物多样性的科考。然后的话是在亚利桑那会有专门的大学级别以上的教授会带着小朋友们去做亚利桑那的野生动物的科考，主要呢是观察美洲豹以及其他的一些野生动物。OK，那接下来呢，左边的这个呢，如果说是你既出不了国，你也没有没有那么多时间去参加外面的比如说美国国内的项目的话，那这个线上的义工项目的话，那就是会特别适合。对，我们基本上的话，会这个项目的话是会为期7天，然后小朋友基本上都是在网上连线世界各地的贫困地区的那些村庄农户，跟他们做1对1的采访以及扶贫。那右边这个就来了，这个的话就是跟学术更加相关的，那是电子的 SAT 的预备班。对，因为我们知道在2年前的时候，SAT 第一次把纸质考试换成了线上考试，它所有的考试机制跟考试题目都有进行相对的一个更换。对，这个的话，可能会对初期刚刚从纸质跳到电子档的学生的话，可能会比较难适应，但是我们会强烈建议他们去上我们这个课。OK，那这个的话我会来回应一下那个 Dr. Angela Gabin 刚刚所说的那个富兰克林的科研究。对，因为我们要知道现在的话，怎么才能让小朋友能够突出，能够 stand out，尤其是针对那些优秀的学生。research 研究论文，不管你是要念理工科，还是你要念人文啊那一些，它都会是需要一篇正儿八经的研究论文，因为你在写研究论文的时候是特别考验你的批判性思维的，因为你要知道拥有批判性思维的话。呃，你是在大学里面，你是特别能够有占优势的，而且我们这边所提供的不管是师资，还是一些奖励机制，都是特别诱人的。我们基本上我们的师资都会是全美基本上都是大学等级的教授，然后的话是覆盖在全美。然后出来了那个research paper 之后，如果说他会在我们这边做评比，如果说他能进到我们的1等奖的话，那将会有1万块的奖学金会等着他去拿。对，这个项目的话，我记得没有错的话，应该是为期6周，包括培训。OK，这2个项目的话，会比较相似，但是又会有一些小小的不同。那我们先从左边的开始看，左边的呢就会是时下最流行的无人车项目。这个的话是会坐落在那个我们的 UC Irvine 的呃合作地，然后的话基本上的话会小朋友是以组队。 为一个机制，会有专门的大学里面的教授老师会去他们去做无人汽车的研究。当然了，里面的话可能也会是需要让他们学一些编程的知识啊，以及硬件的基础的知识。对，然后的话，这个学校的话，我们也是有提供住宿的。那与此同理，右边的这个伯克利的理工科的下校，这个也会，我们也会是提供住宿。这个呢主要是会 focus 在AI，因为大家都知道现在 AI 已经非常普及了，基本上人人现在都会用 AI，但是你要去怎么样去更好的去运用它的话，呃，这个会是一个比较好的一个敲门砖，一个入门考。对。OK，那谈完了下校呢，可能就再谈一些更加学术的。对，如果你还是在为AP 考试而发愁的话，不妨看看我们这边有我们的那个AP 考前冲刺辅导班，然后的话是为期2个月，然后的话会有专门的老师会来带领去教导一些AP 考试重点的一些课题。对，因为你上这个课的话就是会比较短一些，就不会像 AP 学分课一样，因为这个东西主要就是针对你去 AP 考试的，所有的东西都是为了以考试为目标。对，然后我们也有 offer 绝大部分的AP 的一些科目。对，OK，那这个的话就会是我们的AP 的暑假班，然后是跟那个富兰克林高中联合合办的，基本上小朋友在学校里面所要上的一些所有的 AP 课的话，我们基本上都会有提供。对，然后的话，课程的话是会比较紧张的，因为你是要在2个月之内，你要把人家1年的整个的知识量你要全部上完，那注定这会是非常紧张。然后右边的话是我们的一些课程的时间表，大家可以看一下，有兴趣的话。OK，那这个的话又回到了我们IvyMax 传统的社团，我们的商业社团现在开始招新了，现在是分别是有做在我们 IvyMax 的库珀蒂诺中心、Pleasanton 中心跟圣地亚哥中心。对。OK，那这个的话就是会更加特别一点。这个的话，如果说是你是女生想要做理工科的话，那这个社团的话会是你的一个to go 的一个选项。现在暂时呢是会在我们的库珀蒂诺中心跟圣地亚哥中心会有这个社团。如果说是大家是在附近的话，不妨可以去参观观摩一下。OK，那这个的话就是我们整个所有中心都有的一个Snap 社团实物券的一个社团，这个主要是针对的是一些低收入一些贫苦家庭，然后教他们去怎么样去设计他们的那些午餐，因为我们都知道虽然美国对那些中低收入家庭的话会有食物券啊、免费午餐啊，但是那些午餐并不是特别健康。那要怎么样去合理的教他们去利用这个食品券去拿到相应的食物啊？这会是我们的一个目标。OK，这是我们的IvyMax 飞达的那个名校文书的书籍。这个的话会收录我们历年来被一些名牌大学录取的一些优秀学生的一些文书。如果说你马上是要开始做大学申请的话，你不妨可以买过来一本，可以看一看。这样的话，不光是对你的批判性思维会有好处，其二的话。 你也可以去研究研究这些文章所用的一些文笔文法。对，All right，那这个的话就会是我们飞达的一个微信公众号。如果大家想持续跟踪我们的一些升学的最新的动向啊，或者一些小的tips 啊，不妨可以扫一扫我们左边的二维码，加一下我们的公众号。我们会定期更新，然后里面都会是一些干货。OK，如果说这个的话，就会是我们北加州、南加州所有中心他们的联系电话以及电子邮件。对，然后右边的话还有我们一个咨询站的一个群，大家可以扫一下。如果大家真的感兴趣的话，可以不妨到附近的飞达的服务中心来找我们做进一步的咨询。OK，那我们今天第140次讲座就先到这里，那就谢谢大家。